Got all those appendages.
It went into a lot of effort, if that's what it is.
Yeah. And a couple of extra little lights around the edges. That is quite a paper balloon.
A bit too sophisticated for paper balloon.
I think so.
So I don't know.
Fine.
It's very close.
I'd call that a genuine unknown. Look at that. And again, totally unlike any we've seen. That's another pattern.
Well, that's another weird thing about UFOs, because how many models
all
can
the
they
variations,
have?
up comes another one. Okay. Conventional aircraft.
These seem to be like Air Force jets, right?
Can't really tell from this configuration. It's decided...
So it looks like a formation. I mean, commercial planes don't fly like that.
From this angle, it looks like they're flying extremely close together.
And I guess that black thing is supposed to be the UFO, I guess.
Yes. Nothing else that was in that frame. Have we seen anything from Korea so far? This may be
no,
the first.
In this collection, this is the first.
Yeah.
And this is from '95, and there was a kind of a video flap in Korea. Stanton Friedman and myself went there in early '97, January of '97.
It was quite a welcome you got too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was quite an experience. They had this very elaborate UFO exhibit, the largest that I've ever seen. Now, it's very similar to some of the one in Mexico. Again, like those lines, you know, with a cluster of little objects that appear. It's hard to see here, but later becomes clearer, if I remember well. And so there was, even though South Korea, again, is another country with not much of a ufological tradition. Although there were some cases during the Korean War, but those came through American files.
Exactly so.
And that's pretty much it. There is not much heard about UFOs.
Well, all the more gratifying it must have been to, I mean, you had something like 10,000 people or something? I've heard different estimates, but it was massive.
At the exhibit, sure. Yeah. There was a lot of people at that exhibit. It was a very large, I think it cost them like $2 million. It was a really fancy exhibit. It was not very scientific, though. It was all very connected with popular culture. They had the X-Files and contactees and real photos, all mixed up, which is common in the Far East. People tend to mix up. Now, Bonnie Bridge, as you probably know, it's a hotspot in Scotland. Yes,
it is the highest incident sighting part of Scotland, and in fact, also, if you're on the internet, there are some wonderful Scottish UFO websites. UFO Scotland, certainly one of my favorites. Links are on ufocity.com, but it is truly an international grassroots movement. Whatever country you are in, or whatever part of the United States you're in, if you're American, there is probably an active organization near you, grassroots on its own, or a larger regional group, or a branch of MUFON, or one of the larger organizations as well.
Wasn't there in the Bonnie Bridge a councilman that brought a lot of attention, and he wanted to pass a resolution or get the government to investigate or something, right?
Well, it's something when you have a town where almost everyone at a certain point has seen what seems to be genuine, unidentified flying objects. That can create quite an interesting voting bloc.
And we'll later see another one from Bonnie Bridge on the next tape. Now, this is another case I know well. I was in this fellow's house in Tokyo. I think you met him too, right? When he came to visit New York City.
Sure, I remember watching this for the first time.
I brought them, remember,
this is
from
breathtaking.
Japan.
That's right.
He's an amateur astronomer
and
cameraman. He has a Celestron 800, I believe is his model.
Amateur.
It's very good.
Another
where he connects the video camera to the telescope.
Right.
Now I don't know that lately though. It was mostly in the 80s that these images were taken, and he was not the only one. There were a couple of other Japanese amateur astronomers, and he got several. We got about maybe half a dozen altogether, or over a period of years. And like I said, I visited him. I saw his equipment. Unfortunately, when I was there, we didn't see anything. We did see the moon, but that was it. But he's a very nice fellow, very sincere.
Oh, yeah. And what we are seeing here is nothing less than movement right across the surface of the moon. And this is pretty wild as well.
Yeah, this is from a volcano.
Gee whiz. It's almost like this unidentified is going in for a better look, and then we see it scooting out.
Yeah, well, this whole area of Mexico, by the way, is very, very active in volcanoes, and where this which has led some people to try to postulate some link between this massive amount of UFOs and the volcanoes in Mexico.
Well, maybe there is a link. May just be coincidence. But I wouldn't get any closer if I were you, even if you are a UFO.
And I suppose this has been taken from a news helicopter, probably. There's a bird.
Definitely two Earth birds there.
Very good comparison.
Yeah, okay.
And those were definitely birds.
Yeah, thank goodness. Okay, and out of frame it goes.
Yeah, this is even getting closer to
That's getting really close.
to the crater. And later we'll see another very similar, I think from the Popocatépetl volcano.
And heading off, once again, our elusive white dot.
All right, these are at the end. He puts from the files right there, and
yeah,
it's when he gets old video that he didn't have it on chronologically. Yeah, it's fine.
So we have a few little pieces.
So long as we can see
sequences.
it. Yeah.
And we are now about to move on to the fourth and final segment on this extraordinary DVD.
Takes it all through '98, right?
Yes, sir. Through January of 1998.
And knowing Mike, he's probably right now in the middle of somewhere collecting material for the next.
You better believe it. We'll be right back with you for Reel 4.